In our modern world of technologically advanced societies, we are faced with an alternative reality than the intended utopian goals that endless convenience was supposed to provide. A large portion of humanity has lost its connection to the natural world, and this has created an imbalance that is leaving many people feeling choked out by the urban jungle rat race. Back in 1991, there was a man in Washington state who was feeling this disconnect in his own life in such a profound way that he decided to leave it all behind and set out to free himself by living in the rugged yet enchanting wilderness of the Olympic Peninsula. His name is Mick Dodge. He spent many months a year, mostly alone in remote nature, learning to not only survive, but thrive. His life was completely changed by rekindling that earthly bond, a bond that is waiting for us all, if we but only have the ears to hear its calling. Mick, you spent several decades, basically, living in the wilderness, being connected to it, and then also being connected to communities around you. But the question I really want to ask you is, what do we live in this modern society? What are people really missing by our lack of connection with nature that we don't even, probably most people really don't even know because they've not known nothing other than what they've been experiencing?
Well, I think 10 to 12,000 years ago, we have the same anatomy, the same biology of our ancestors. The trackings go back 50, 60,000 years ago, maybe even longer, But here we got modern civilization, and we have a tremendous amount of insulation and separation, physical separation from there, which is all still part of the earth. And I think the common story we share, and the cultural story, we are people who are becoming defeated. And I spell that with two E's. We're losing touch with our walk of the earth, and that run, and that bipedalism, and the dance. And as you bring that back and you begin to step out of shoes after you've been wearing them for a long time, because when I say defeated, some of the qualities that you can pick out, because this was in my own life, I had been shod, I was sedentary, I was still working out and training, but I was in cars all the time, driving from one place to the next, sitting on my butt. I wasn't moving, I was being moved. And so that's sedentary, and then schooled, and then we deal with the sedation. We become sedated by all our gadgets and electronics and stuff, and screwed shit on, and pretty much leads to being defeated. And I had reached that spot with a lot of sadness in me, but when I stepped out of shoes, that basic simple act, when I made a vow one time because my feet hurt and I was crippled up with feet, I just stuck my feet back into, they stunk too, now I think about it, and I stuck my feet back in the earth, and this incredible transformation began to take place. But I had the pain I had in my feet, I had to follow the pain. Mm-hmm. And it's an old Buddha thing, follow the pain. Mm-hmm. And so I got pain in my feet. Discover and search for the cause. Shoes. Yeah. Do the practice. Step out of shoes. Yeah. And so I kept doing that, stepping out of not just shoes, but out of the insulation, out of the walls, out of the machines. And so a mantra formed up through my feet was, follow your feet and the earth will teach. Mm-hmm. And so I just kept following that. I kept allowing everything I knew, all the talk I had in me about what's right and wrong in life, what's wrong in life, I took for a walk. And I just really began to explore that. And so my feet led me further up into the Olympic Mountains. Then I would come back again, and I was setting up stashes and little training spots in the mountains, and I would go out for long periods of time. Then I would, come back in again. And so it was a weave. It's you step out of shoes, you land in the earth. John Muir had a good quote. I call him a mountain monk. And his quote was, I was stepping out and found myself going in. Mm. And then you're in, and then you find yourself stepping out again. Yeah. And so in and out and in one of the common sounds through that whole statement is the word and the and sounds into land. We need to land to do that. You need to land your feet, land your soles, and so I kept doing that. Learned how to take my soles deeper with sticks, how to leverage the bones and the sole out deeper, and how to use ropes and hang with trees and develop a practice with that, and how to use stone and ground it. And then sacking was how to train with a sack, but how to sack my feet, sack my body, craft my own clothing, how to set up a shelter and stuff. And I just began to develop this practice of going in and out and in. And we always deal with that. I mean, you start getting into something, and then you have to look around, is what am I into? Am I being arrogant? And that arrogant comes from ignorance. And it's okay to begin being ignorant of something, but now you come to ignorance, and if you know something's wrong and you've felt that in your body and your heart, and then you go ahead and do it anyway, you're in a place of arrogance. And we do it every day. We all have it in us. So we're in and out and in, and I think we're at a time now where our people, with so much incredible tools, computers, electronic medium and stuff like this, they're just tools, and if you look at the insulation and the building of walls for 10, 12, 15,000 years, however that's been going on, there's wall buildings. The road is a wall. And that's one of the first things my feet taught me about walking the road. It is a wall. It edges the forest. The guard duty, the sentries on the wall are incredible people driving their 2,000-3,000 pounds of metal with, saved a whale and all the statements and stuff in there. But you walk along that road, there's a tremendous amount of death. It's a wall. And so it's as you get in your feet, my feet were exposing that to me. And if we stepped out into our communities and begin to walk our communities, you begin to see, instead of driving by some area that's really shouldn't be there, a question arises is why, as a two-footed species that is meant to walk this earth, have we created so many places that we can't walk? I mean, the earth has some places that are like taboo, I climbed up in the glaciers and almost lost my toes because I was arrogant, going, I'll never wear shoes again, and I can do this. And I got up there and just about lost my toes. and the earth was teaching me again, going, you are not this dominant thing you think you are to make a statement like that and make a vow like that. And so I had to adjust my vow to the teachings of the earth.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yesterday, we did a workshop, and we talked about, using the power of the earth to help us heal. Can you kind of speak to that?
Well, I think one of the first things I was taught when I began to step out of the shoes was attention. I had to start paying attention. Just try it. You step out of shoes and start walking around. You start looking for stickers and dog crap and, where's my feet landing? Your eyes are going down. And there was this feeling that my feet did not fit the earth. And then the next thing I had to do in those steps was acceptance. I had to accept that I'd done this to myself. Even though my people had raised me to wear shoes like most of us, we just kids growing up, and they stick our feet in those flower pots, and we just keep growing and our feet become root bound. And even with them doing that, I still had done it to myself. I own responsibility for that. And so I had to accept that. You have to accept, these are my feet. This is my story. Whatever your people have taught you, this is my story now, my feet, my walk, my talk. And you also learn to accept you have a primal ancestral memory in you that will guide you back into how to land my feet back into the earth again, how to fit them back in. So that following your feet and having that attention, and then acceptance that following your feet in that way, those two steps lead into being aware. And for me, in order to be aware, I found out I had to open my heart and care. And in order to keep the caring going, you have to share. And so what are we sharing? Is this healing energy? And so when you tap into it, the earth knows more than what we do, and it channels through us then. A good example is I started television outfits started showing up and wanting it. It wasn't so much me, it was what I was channeling through the earth, this healing energy. And to me, this is an electronic medium that, okay, I will channel the earth in through there. The only reason I agreed to do the show with National Geographic was my opportunity to show off the lands of Om. And Om, O-M, is Olympic Mountains to me. That's where I learned that sound and how to use that sound and get to home. But so there's an example to me about this whole electronic television thing and how that flows out in there is channeling the earth through here. And the responsibility for each of us to do that. Yeah. This is an incredible tool, a credible medium, and I like the way you're using it and feeding that into that, where one of the biggest things about 10, 12,000 years of building civilization stuff is to control the story. And, channeling in the earth, that I always had great confidence and resolve. I'm not worried about what they do and trying to edit stuff and do it because the earth is the real control there. And I get continuously, wow, I didn't know there was a rainforest in America. And it was the earth doing that. It was the whole river valley. And
well, just the fact that there's even a collective interest in a guy who's living off the land or, getting out there and getting back into nature and the fact that there's even such an interest in that and, to have a show on National Geographic and no matter how they edit it, like you said, right. On some level, that is a benefit, And so I suppose, like you said, we can use these tools to, show violence or show pornography or show whatever you want to call it, whatever other destructive behavior there might be out there. But this is an opportunity then to also take it even deeper than that, right? Like, let's really break down what's going on in the nature. And I'm really glad that we had this chance to talk about it.
Well, I think you're right. They come on with that drama. They want to have all this drama, and they make they're very arrogant in the assumption they make. They think they know their audience because they're trying to control the story. They had that word, demographic. Demographic. They got this word, our demographic is, males 22 to 55 survivalists. And I'm not a survivalist. I'm a thrivalist. Go get somebody else, And no, we want to just follow you around. But I got humor. You want to try to bring drama in the moment. And to me, life will get dramatic at times. What we do with this gift we've been given from the earth to be this incredible adaptable spirit is humor and joy. And so humor always comes up to me as one of the most healingest powers, I mean, I got bones, cracked them, and they ache and stuff like that. And I just try to bring a grin and a smile to that, I hide weights out in the mountains and they're rusting and people get up to them and they go, wow, your weights are rusting. I go, yeah, I know. They get lighter as the years go by, and it stays with my age, I don't have to lift 200 pounds. I can lift 80, and it's doing the same thing, So I just find if you bring humor in, and that's such a healing power, it has the H symbol to it, right? And H is like a house, a home, a gate. And so I follow those H symbols, and you have the word humility. Yeah, you want to learn to be humble in life. It's a good place to be, but if you go humble too long, you get whiny. You start whining, you're just like, oh, that's so bad, and it's just like, okay, get over it, and the other side of that is honor. So you want to come on with integrity and honor, but those two, humility and honor, the thing with honor, you turn into an asshole. You can just come on too hard, and it's just like, whoa, you're losing it. What balances them to make you a total human, to me, is humor. Because humor's in that place. We don't know all this. We ain't got this figured out. I mean, every sage I think you ever read about, and especially woman, there's a woman, Peace Pilgrim, who's been very powerful in my life. She had a speaking from the earth and God when she was out on the East Coast, and she just, 50s, and she just started walking back and forth across the and talking. And she wore a tunic.
Yeah.
And did this whole peace pilgrim thing. And crazy woman, but she was always joyful. You listen to her voice; she had this joy, this humor about her, and so that's what I pursue. Is yes, there's times to be sad. There you feel that, no, but my people, the Nordics and Celts, we held wakes, and I happen to, up in Washington in that area, a tremendous amount of Scandinavian Nordic people, and so wakes were part of our growing up, and so when someone passed on, it became a party, and so I hold to those traditions and that humor and that grin. So, yeah.